Alright, kiddos. It's therapy day. I want to show you a couple mistakes that newbies make. That you're going to make, that I made, that everybody makes. But I want you to recognize them as soon as possible and break them. First of them is anchoring your finger. Because if you want to play something along the lines of... Damn it. But if you anchor that finger there, just because it doesn't have to move, I mean, these two fingers are moving up here. You don't have to move that first finger, right? You do. Because if this note is still ringing when you go to this note, it's going to sound like absolute hell. Such as... Listen to the difference here. With my finger anchored. Because if this note is still ringing, hitting this note creates distortion. It's playing both the notes at the same time. Alright, that resonance it'll completely ruin that note. Unless you want to play, if you're doing Leonard Skinner style, then fine. But if you're trying to play single notes, that doesn't work. It completely foobars the note. So you don't want to anchor your fingers. You don't want to keep holding it there. Also because string changes. If you become accustomed to anchoring that first finger, then when you're trying to change strings, you're going to want to keep that finger there because you're so used to it that you're not going to move it until you have to. So, and that's not the way you play that note. That's the way you play that note. Not like that, like that. And pull-offs, you pluck the string to do a pull-off. If you anchor that finger, you're going to end up plucking that string when you don't want to, when you're going down a note. That's why whenever that finger's not playing a note, it should not be touching the damn string, or at least not the fretboard anyway. I'm sure there's some cases where you're supposed to anchor that damn finger if you're playing extremely fast, but I don't know of any. I've never had to. Get in the habit of not doing it now. And another thing is, first off, I'm not going to teach you to play guitar. There are people that are a lot better at guitar, a lot better at teaching, and know a lot more than I do, with better recording equipment, that make a living on YouTube doing that. Watch them. They're better. They'll teach you better. I'm not going to be able to do that. I'm not going to waste your time or mine doing it. I'm just going to show you the crap that I can't seem to find on YouTube. At least not regularly. There's all kinds of people that will tell you pentatonic scales, root notes, chord changes, key changes, note changes, and the caged system. Look those specific terms up. Pentatonic scales, root notes. Root notes are part of pentatonic scales, but you need to learn, not figure out, but you need to learn and memorize your root notes across the board so that you know which scale to play with which song. Because if you're playing something in F sharp and you go to play a G, it's not going to sound quite right. I mean, if songs are in the key of C or the key of D or the key E, and there's certain notes that go along with that. Something's in the key of E, A minor may not work quite right. There's plenty of videos that'll outline which keys work best. Now, it's not an end-all process, and even Slash plays stuff out of key once in a while just for a little bit of a change, and it sounds right. Night Train in one of his solos, he plays a note off key, but he does it on purpose, and it sounds good. You can tell that it's off key because it doesn't blend, but somehow it's right. So you can play off key notes, but you can't play off key. It's screwed up, but look up the terms and you'll be able to find people that'll teach it to you and tell you a lot better than I can, because I don't have all that memorized yet. I'm still working on that crap. When I learned to play guitar, we were playing Metallica and just learning to play songs, and I never learned how to really play my own stuff. I'm still working on that. I've only been trying to really learn how to play guitar for the last 3 years. I'm not up there yet. I've got a lot of old bad habits to break. So I'm telling you now, break that habit of anchoring the damn string. And once you get to the point where you're going to try and play to a backing track, I've got on my Spotify, I've got backing tracks. I'll start a backing track on my phone and just play along with my own stuff on Guitar Rig and just try to play something that sounds good to it. That's one of the main ways I'm learning what is and what is not in key with one another. I've got a program called Audacity. It's free, Audacity. You download a backing track on your computer, and then since I use Guitar Rig, I can just record my playing straight through it. Then I'll play the same backing track through my phone and record what I'm playing on Guitar Rig. And Audacity allows me to, you open up Audacity, go to File, Import Audio, import the backing track, and I import what I play. Then it'll mesh them together, it'll overlay my playing onto the backing track, and I can see how it sounds. So that I know I still sound like shit, I still need to practice, and I still need to learn some stuff. That's the best way you're going to be able to learn how to be in key and which keys go with which, because there's going to be people that tell you practice, just do it and practice. Listen to what you're actually doing with a backing track, and it'll put things in perspective for you. But learn your scales first, learn the cage system first, learn your chords, and learn everything you can, really. But anyway, when you try to play to backing tracks, like right now, if you listen to a backing track, your brain is going to start putting all these licks together, right? And you're going to load up a ballad in the key of D, or probably in the key of C. Anyway, you're going to load up a ballad. It's going to be 4 chords they're switching between. They're just going to be, playing A, C, G, F, A, C, G, F. They're just going to be bouncing between these chords. And if they play like a chorus type song, or a song with with specific chorus areas, then they'll probably add a 5th or a 7th in there, maybe change the chords a little bit, but that's all ballads are. They're just repetition. Most songs are just repetition, but ballads especially. But you're going to hear these 4 chords, and your brain's just going to start thinking all this different stuff sounds good. And by the time they get to the 8th chord and they're ready to go back beginning and start all over, you've already played through about 25 licks on the guitar in your brain. And it sounds good because you're going from this half second to this half second to this half second. But once you put it on Audacity and you listen to the whole song, that sounds like shit. And you're right, it does. You want to start off slow. Don't throw everything you got right out the gate. Start off slow, get a repetition going, throw something small in, get a repetition going. Because you've only got 1 solo, maybe 2, in a long song. but you only want to try to throw one solo in and then go back to your repetition. Get in that get in that way of playing. As nothing is a better teacher than learning how to do something and then doing it over and over and over and over and over and over and over again. If you get in the habit of doing simple stuff over and over and over and over, it'll just become second nature, muscle memory. But anyway, that's what I do. Audacity. To humble myself and remind myself that I've still got a long ways to go. But it does help. I can run 14 hours a day and I still play the guitar every night before bed, because it's great therapy. Whatever I did that day, or whatever's bothering me that day, I can pour it through the strings and it goes away. It doesn't seem like such a problem after that. It is fantastic. If you are not meant for guitar, and if you just can't do it, if it is just not your thing, find something that is. Because I still talk to Jesus and give him all my problems. But it still helps to play the guitar and just get rid of them. Trust me, you need some kind of outlet. And creativity is the absolute best outlet there is. Because it allows you to take your emotions and turn them into something else. I turn mine into music. You can turn yours into music. You can turn it into artwork. You can turn it into whatever the hell you want, as long as it's legal and non-violent. See what I'm saying? Keep it up. Keep at it. If you've got any questions, holler at me. But see what you can do. Good luck.